It's almost crazy that something as material as winning a race can mean that much to you, but it's just in my bones, man. Yeah, I think it's interesting the way I was brought into the sport. I didn't have family that raced. I didn't have a friend that got involved with it. I kind of got into it a little bit organically, but I just remember loving it. I remember thinking about it all the time, and it's all I wanted to do. And I wouldn't say we got lucky, because I feel like everything's kind of meant to be, but yeah, it's interesting how it came about. So I started riding at 3 years old. I just remember it being really light. You know, it was just all about the experience. We didn't have really any goals behind it. It was just something that I enjoyed to do. It was just a love for the sport. I think when I kind of realized how serious it was, I was 10 or 11. I had an ultimate goal to be the best one day, and that's still my goal. I was never really counting my titles or decorating my trophy room. For me, it was all about the amateurs get you a factory ride, and that gives you a shot to be a successful pro, and ultimately that was the goal for me. So I go to Hangtown, my first professional race, and I had gotten salmonella the week before. So I was kind of digging myself out of a hole there. Getting ready for Supercross. At the time, I kind of had a chip on my shoulder from outdoors. Came out my first Supercross race and won. That felt really good, and from there, I mean, I felt like I was invincible. There's nothing that can touch me. I remember the day, coming into the day with no expectations, like no weight. I'm just gonna put down my absolute best every single lap, and when I crossed the finish line and the best was good enough for a win, like I swear to you, for like 3 days after that win, I could not believe it.
I think it was really impressive to win his very first Supercross he ever rode. That's what you wished you could do as a kid, you know, like go there and straight do it, you know, like, and he was able to do that.
It was just all heart, really. I mean, it was just, I didn't think about it too much. I just did it. It's an indescribable feeling. I mean, just that moment in itself is worth every single day of riding, every gym workout I ever did as a kid, missing high school or prom or whatever. I'd do it all a million times just for like the 45 seconds after that win, man. It's indescribable. Unfortunately, I had a shoulder injury at Toronto. Took me out of the championship. I was up like 20 points or something. Up until that moment, everything was going according to plan.
For him, and for us too, it's kind of a devastating thing, because you're like, you set this goal and then you're partially there, and it falls apart.
It wasn't just a championship I was losing. I was losing like this whole idea I had for myself. That was tough to swallow. You realize you're not invincible. Maybe 2 days, 3 days after I started riding, I went into a corner on a turn track. Super mellow, washed the front end, bike came around, swing arm hit me right in the leg and snapped my tib fib. Then all of a sudden, you're this guy that gets hurt all the time.
There certainly isn't like this some easy recipe for success, you know, and like when he moved up, he was still very small, and he was a kid, and he hadn't grown a lot, and then he got hurt, then he started growing, and his bones were soft, and his joints, you know, nothing was kind of working it real slow. It's sort of like tiny, and then he grew so much, and then he was using a different training program in the beginning that probably just didn't gel for him, you know.
I was just kind of underdeveloped. I was training like I was 25 years old from the time I was 15 and 16, and so my body was always behind. It's one of those things you just want to understand. Like, you just want to understand what you're doing wrong, but I'm glad I didn't stop.
He's gone through injuries, he's gone through, you know, a lot, and he's in a better spot right now. I don't think from the very beginning till right now he's ever questioned his ability, and I don't think I've questioned his ability. And he came back a stronger, more fit individual than he was in the past, for sure.
I think in the end, like if you can just sum up all the injuries, it really has made me so much better, and it's really made me me. I feel like I've gone about it in a good way of being patient, coming back after years of injuries, just kind of grinding day in and day out. As much as it is difficult, the sport sometimes, it makes up for it 10 times over with the high moments.